We should be live, good to go, and all that. Let me make sure everything's working. Looks like it. Alright, cool. Hello, everybody. We're back for some modern Black, White, Eldrazi taxes, like we usually do on Wednesday. I was going to make a couple changes to the deck, but I'll talk about those in a second. Because the first thing I wanted to cover was that I started to write a sideboard guide for this deck. So, if you're curious about the deck, and obviously you can't learn everything just by like watching someone else play the deck, but learning someone's thoughts in depth on certain matchups and stuff can really help you accelerate, accelerate your own gameplay in terms of figuring out kind of what cards are bad, what cards are generally good, and why that's the case to help you kind of push your own thinking forward. I'm not writing like a normal card for card sideboard guide, like, oh, cut 4 Thalia, 4 Arbiter, plus 3 Fatal Push, whatever. Because I generally don't like those sideboard guides as much. It at least like a very mechanical way of thinking about it. Like, this is always the case, but it's almost never the case. There's always an element of, like, spontaneity? Spontaneity, I think. In terms of, like, how your opponent's deck is structured and how your own deck is structured. Because there are very tiny micro decisions which may lead to you wanting a certain card more than a different card. Like, it's hard to say. Easy case is against Burn. Usually I cut Flicker Wisps, but recently there have been a lot of decks playing Ensnaring Bridge, and you want Flicker Wisp because it's one of your only outs in the deck to an Ensnaring Bridge, so you start cutting Displacers instead because it's kind of the other worst card in the deck, but if you know that they're not on bridges, then you can just cut the Wisps instead. So it all is based on stuff that your opponent's doing, how, like, your own deck composition and stuff, so anyway. My sideboard guide is more of assessing what your opponent's trying to do, assessing what your role is to try and stop that, and like figuring out what cards are your best cards for doing those jobs and what cards are the worst, and selecting your best sideboard cards to assist in the duties post board. So anyway, if you're watching this live, there should be a !SB guide that links you, that links to the, or that posts a link in chat for you to go to. And for those of you watching like a YouTube video or something, I'm going to post the link for the sideboard guide in the comments. So if you ever want to see that, it's only like 5 decks right now. I think I took the top 5 decks off of Goldfish, and I was writing sideboard guides for those. But I'm going to keep expanding it as I like have more free time, just sitting there. When I get a minute, I'll type my thoughts of specific matchups, and I'll slowly try to develop the sideboard guide more and more. It's hard though because Modern is a huge format, and there's a ton of decks. So I covered the first 5, and it's like, wow, I'd like play against one of these maybe during a single league. So it's probably not super helpful quite yet, but hopefully it helps some people in the future. Would it be Henny? Anyway, second thing I wanted to do was make a couple edits here. I didn't buy a second Bitter Blossom. It's a little awkward. Maybe I'll just play a Gonti. I was going to cut my Eternal Scourges. Mardu Pyromancer's kind of been on the decline recently, and Blue-White Control has been on the incline, I suppose. Did you check out the Dragon Shield Nest box? Oh, I forgot to do that now. I'm going to make a tab for that right now, but I probably won't look at them until after the stream. Nest box. Oh yeah, those are pretty cool. Anyway, Fairy is a dick. Fairy is a dick. That is, you're not incorrect, Westminster. So I wanted to kind of shape my deck to try to combat Blue-White a little bit more, and kind of just throw the Mardu Pyro matchup in the trash can. These Eternal Scourges were really good when Mardu and Jeskai were really big, but both of those decks have kind of fallen at the wayside in the face of Blue-White kind of being our Overlord control deck nowadays. Of course, I'm going to say that, and we're going to immediately queue into both Mardu and Jeskai tonight, and I'm going to feel like an idiot for not having Eternal Scourges, but that's what happens every time I ever make a decision that like involves cutting key cards from my sideboard. Modern's such a huge format. Again, doesn't really matter a whole lot, so we're going to cut these Eternal Scourges. As much as I love you, as much as you helped me win that RPTQ, or PPTQ. We're going to cut them for now. And I think we're just going to play like a Gonti and 2 Gideons or something. Some nonsense like this, just a bunch of 4-drops. I kind of wanted a second Bitter Blossom, but I forgot to buy one before the stream started, so. You can also play like Lingering Souls in these slots if you want to go that route. It might actually, in some cases, be better than Gideon, because Gideon can be really awkward against Blue-White on occasion. If you play it on turn 4 and then just go turn 5 to Fairy, tuck your Gideon away. I guess they have to. Then you have the token to finish off their Teferi at least. I think the biggest threats to Sideboard are white aggro and blue control. Yeah, so I was gonna try to make some concessions to the aggro decks and the like blue-white. Bioness didn't come down and report. Oh, it's not even out yet? Oh, it looks like it's out. But anyway, I forget the deck box I use, but it's pretty good. First time in my life I'm watching Kill Bill. I've actually never watched Kill Bill either. Yeah, and you tell me how it is. I mean, obviously, everyone... It's one of those old classics, so... Get off me, cat. Anyhow, my thoughts on a bunch of places at once. I accidentally think I cut the second relic on when I was taking out those Eternal Scourges, so... Do I own a third Fatal Push? No, I do. Cool. It's on pre-order? Oh, wow. Oh, and really... I keep thinking October's so far away, but it's like only half a month. Could play like another Settle. Could play a Worship, maybe, actually. I think we're going to go back to double Rest in Peace. Cut all my relics, since they're only really excellent with Eternal Scourge. Yeah. It's a Tarantino. I've seen my fair share of Tarantino. And we play a Worship, a Fatal Push, another Settle, something like that. Could try to... Yeah, I think it's like the only real matchups that I'm kind of concerned with are stuff that I would want, like Settle or Worship. I think we'll try like a 1-1 split, Settle and Worship. It's a fair assessment. Alright, my cat is back. Say hi to the stream. What's up, Static? I think this looks okay. Alright, you can be off the stream now. Nope, get off my shirt. Nope, stop. There we go. Any thoughts on Blessed Alliance? Yeah, that's another option. It's not typically in my sideboards, but if you're facing a lot of like Death Shadow and incidentally is good against Burn, I don't like it too much against some of the aggressive decks like right now, like Humans, Hollow One, and Spirits. It's all kind of awkward because they have like Hollow One has like a bunch of dirtily creatures that it can attack with. They sack like a Flame Wake or whatever. Gaining life is nice, but I like it against like Death Shadow and it incidentally just hates on Burn really well. But I don't see enough of those. I guess Death Shadow's kind of picking back up in popularity a little bit, but I think I'm more scared of stuff like Humans. I think we'll try out. Worship is kind of mad at me. Yeah, I mean, Settle's also been kind of mad is my issue. I've never been terribly impressed with either of these cards, so playing a 1-on-1, I can at least, like, kind of, at least mentally decide which one's better. So I can always draw Settle the Wreckage and be like, God, I wish this was a Worship, and then always draw Worship and be like, God, I wish this was a Settle the Wreckage. Let me update the deck here, and then we'll be good to go. Cut all the poor Eternal Scourges. People play around Settle now. Yeah, people never seem to play around Settle against me, but I don't know, maybe... I could also just like play third Fatal Push instead of any of these. What did I add? 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Gideon, Ally of Zendikar, and I cut a Relic of Progenitus for a Gonti. Should be good. I mean, people play around Settle, but people also play around Worship a lot right now. This just always comes out of the sideboard of these white creature decks. Yeah, you see Worship out of, like, the Devoted Company lists. You see it out of Spirits. You see it out of, like, these Death and Taxes decks at this point. But I like something like Settle in the mono white taxes. A, because you don't have like these black cards, and B, because you can also hold up Restoration Angels and make them attack really awkwardly. Because if they only attack with a little bit, you can like Resto blow them out. If they attack with everything, you can Settle blow them out. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Optum. I'm not a huge fan of either of them. They're just like, yeah, you just kind of need them. They're not great, but they're you need something like this against, especially stuff like humans and to a slightly lesser extent, Hollow One. You can beat some of their more aggressive, but not super aggressive draws, and obviously helps against like Boggles and stuff like that. Anyway, let's just play some games. All right. Let's play some Magic. How did we do last time when I played this deck? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, we were 4-1. We were 4-1, super close. We lost that like real unlucky game against Burn. That was sad. Man, I hate keeping these hands. Opponent kept 7. Aetherfell is so good, but on the draw, we could easily just get run over. I think I want a more reasonable 6. Never mind. Hate mulling. Hate mulling OK 7s into bad 6s. That happens to me all the time. So thanks for making content. Came after your Reddit post, convinced me to buy it on the deck. I've been loving it. Hey, no problem, man. Or person. Dang it, I'm really bad at not assuming. Came to the, yeah, I got you. Came to the channel. But anyway, I'm glad you're liking the deck. I also enjoy the deck, except for when you know, horrible mana bit. It's actually like debatably better than my 7, honestly. Deal. Snap that one off. Anyway, how expensive is this deck in paper? I think like someone in chat might know better than me. Like 300, 400 maybe. You can check on MTG Goldfish. It usually gives you a pretty reasonable estimate. Celestial Colonnade. Ooh, this hand is really bad against Celestial Colonnade decks. Enjoy playing reasonable cards Modern. And switching to a deck I can win on turn 3. Yeah, I always play what I enjoy in Modern. Modern's not a format where I'm gonna like try to play the best deck because there are just so many decks. 300, I believe. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's ironically like cheaper than Mono White Taxes, because Mono White Taxes plays a pile of Horizon Canopies and this deck doesn't. Maybe not cheaper, but they're like the same price-ish. Could slam Strangler, but I think I want to like Flicker Wisp Strangler one of my opponent's lands is like the only way I'm winning this game. I don't think my turn 2 3/2 is gonna really do it. I also like just don't think we're gonna win off 5 against blue white, but sure. Really wish I had like anything that I was doing to punish them for just Field of Ruining me on turn 3. Oh man, just immediately get punished by them Field of Ruining me by not being able to cast this Thought Knot. Well, if they just slam Jace or something, we can at least Wisp Strangler it. We think about generally main decking one Beseiju in this meta. In what deck are we talking about? Because obviously some decks really want to resolve their instances and sorceries. Some decks really don't. If you're just talking in general, just like the amount of like blue-white or something, then again, it all's relative. Just in general, with mana blue-white, yeah. But it all depends on what deck you're playing. Like black-white Eldritch Attack obviously doesn't want to be playing Beseiju, but it's really good in like Ad Nauseam or Scape Shift, or maybe not Scape Shift. That's a bad example. Can't think of another deck. Another combo deck that wants to cast big flashy spells. Tooth and Nail? So I could just Stone Rain my opponent. I think I'm just gonna wait though. Sit on this file. Like play it to Fairy or something. We can just instead of Flicker Wisp it untap Strangler. Fortunate that I haven't played a single card this game yet, but them's the breaks. Sure. What if they're gonna leave a... yeah. Flip Wisp out this to Fairy. Unfortunately, I have to actually like jam my Thought Knot into this counter spell. I can like remove my Flicker Wisp with the Strangler trigger on the stack. So let's get this Thought Knot counterspelled. Also, if they somehow don't have a counterspell, then we just could like brutalize them with the Strangler. Oh, sick. Wow, their hand sucks. Because now we just get to strangle the Thought Knot and not even kill one of our own things. What you got, opponent? Flooded Strand. So they want to be able to animate Colonnade, I guess, is the point here. It's a pretty decent draw. He has a family. Yeah, this is fine. We can path this Colonnade or displace her down or something. Depending on, they might actually just cast a different spell. No, so just Colonnade animation, sure. So they just have Spell Snare, negate. Path this right now while they don't have negate mana up. There's 6. I think I'm going to displace this Thought Knot so I don't get Wrathed, because that's like the only thing we lose to here. Oh, hang on, this was... oh no, it wasn't dumb, because we can take the Terminus in response. So we should be fine. Just drew so many lands. Wow, that was not a game that I was intending to win. That is for sure. We didn't play a creature until like turn what 4, 5? Yeah, turn 5, right? Because the first creature I put in play was after they played Teferi. We filed on a Flicker Wisp. Jesus, my opponent's draw was miserable. Alright, so we got actually some, we got like 5 cards to bring in for these matchups that aren't, Eternal Scourges. Because Stranglers plus 2 paths seems fine. We still want paths to be able to deal with Baneslayers and the like. Also helps you punch through Colonnades occasionally. These other cards seem okay. I could have cut, like, Shalais instead of Stranglers, maybe. Never been a huge fan of Shalai in the blue-white matchup, because a lot of their removal isn't targeted. They just have a bunch of Wraths and Path to Exiles, and they usually just Path the Shalai. And if you have Vile on 4, then you're just playing like a bad Restoration Angel. Whereas Strangler can actually kill Planeswalkers, notably. The Flicker Wisp Strangler interaction is definitely not something to be ignored. Hell, Fountain decks got them. Maybe they shouldn't be playing like 97 lands in their deck. I think we'll just ship this. Oh man, this hand is a snap keep. Clearly they should put good cards in that deck, but Island's the best card in Magic, right? How could my opponent lose? Come on, draw another Eldrazi Temple. Gonna lead on Temple, opens it up to like their mana denial stuff, but we draw another Temple, we just get to brutalize them. Nope. Opponent could like Spell Snare this or Logic Knot it or whatever, but why'd you let Teferi untap before playing Wisps? I guess I don't really know. Because I needed to do it on end step, so I could have done it before they untapped, but there was nothing they could do to like punish me, right? They're not gonna like squelch my Flicker Wisp trigger. There's no reason to do it before letting them untap. I could have like done it in response to the end step trigger. But it doesn't particularly matter, I don't think. Good thing I didn't play Leonin Arbiter. Also, my opponent just hates letting me have Eldrazi Temple, apparently. We're gonna grab Swamp? Cast Combo? Plains cast Gideon and Flicker Wisp, though. We're gonna grab Plains. Ah, nice. The triple threat. So we're gonna play the Leonin Arbiter and get wrecked by... Actually, we only get wrecked by their Ghost Quarter, which is usually like a 1-of. Because they can't fail to run double basic. Host. What does this one do again? Target creature, second from the top. At least we drew a third land, thank the Lord. So we're drawing Thalia next turn, so like not hitting a land here would have been horrible for me. But now we get to play this Comball. Why did they not path the Thalia? Why'd they oust the Thalia? I don't know. Oh, I should have said yes in the shuffle. I didn't want to draw the Thalia. Shoot. Maybe. No. Good thing they're not hitting this Concealed Courtyard. Unfortunately, I can't actually do anything about it. I can either not cast a spell, or get my Concealed Courtyard Stone Rained. I guess Strip Mined. So I think we just have to add to the board. Is Rip just not high enough to impact this matchup? Yeah, for sure, Optimum. I hate Rip in this matchup. Relic Organist is fine because it cantrips, but Rip is just so bad. Ooh, Cryptic Command into Miracle Terminus deal. Rip just, like, loses your card from your hand and sometimes doesn't even do anything. Like, Rip would have done Stone nothing so far, right? It only turns off Snapcaster and prevents Azcanta from flipping. Some of these blue-white decks don't even play... don't even play Snapcasters anymore. Alright, well, if we ever draw land number 4, we might actually be able to do something, considering my opponent's spinning their wheels pretty hard. Although, my Gideons just get eaten by a Colonnade in 2 turns. Oh, they drew a Planeswalker. We're dead. Yeah, now we lose. Let's see if we can get any information before we actually die. My opponent needs to close this game, so being able to have information like if they're playing Baneslayers or something is probably pretty important. Slam this. Shared Attention Sphere, my thing. Deal. Slam the Jace, sure. Yeah, now we should be very, very dead. We're dead at the Teferi, so. Do I concede now? Meh. I do kind of want to see if they'll play an actual threat or they'll just kill me with these colonnades. Want to know if you have Baneslayers in your deck. Could just kill me with Jace ult at this point, though. Yeah, I guess we'll concede. No point in playing that one out. Missing that land drop and then getting Field Ruined was pretty horrible. But I think keeping a 2-lander on the draw with like multiple high-impact plays is probably fine. We just didn't get there that time. Also, hands with Vial versus hands without Vial against blue-white are like night and day in this matchup. Vial's so important. Yeah, gonna snap this hand off. And then get these Vials like Detention Sphered. There's an argument for like not playing both of these Vials. But it's probably not a very good argument, considering my next turn's going to be tap land. I'll have the 1 mana up. Yeah, I'm gonna get absolutely ranched by like a Detention Sphere, but sure, search. Means we can at least slam this combo. Because they don't have counterspell up. It would be nice to have like a Thalia or Arbiter to put in, or a Tide Hollow Sculler even. That's rude. This is why like I just like don't enjoy the blue white fair matchup very much. It's because like random terminuses. That one didn't matter because it was just like a Path to Exile basically. The one that didn't give me a land. But ooh, it's a pretty good one. Do I want to just jam into a counterspell here? My opponent hasn't had like any counterspells, so probably jam. I'd rather jam here, try to get around a path. Well, they don't have white mana. Oh, they do have a Baneslayer. Guess I have to take this path and then displace to take the Baneslayer later. Unfortunately, I can't take like the Teferi and the Baneslayer. Gotta take this path right now. If we draw a Temple, we could take both. Put in a Displacer, untap. Wow, that's kind of aggressive. Okay. I guess we're gonna just flicker the Thought Knot now so they can't like path this or something. We really don't want them to resolve this Baneslayer. There's no guarantees that they can, because they don't have the other mana yet, but I just like can't beat one if they do, so. Wake Surge, Snap, Teferi. So they can slam Teferi, but then we can kill it, so I'm not super worried about that. They also didn't actually hit the land yet. Mill Snap. They might not be able to play the Teferi. Aw. What do they do? Minus it? Plus it? Hope to find... No, it's just like dead if they plus it even, because we have Shambling Vent. Even if they plus it and find a Path to Exile or something. I'm not sure I want to animate this Shambling Vent. I'd much rather like have double blink open. They could actually just flash in like Snap. Ooh, Temple gives me the option of animating and blinking still, right? So if I play Temple, yeah. So this lets me play around a Path to Exile on like Eldrazi Displacer or Thought-Knot Sphere. And still lets me blink in there or upkeep, draw step. Attack the Teferi with everyone. They'll probably just let it die. Opture. Wow, if this is just like blind off into Terminus. I guess we can beat Terminus because we have Displacer Thought-Knot actually. So we let that happen. We let this trigger resolve. They flip this as Kanta. Probably just gonna blink and draw step. Mill the Jace, deal. They don't have like a path or something. If they have path here and they just like path snap path or something, we're just boned beyond belief. They like snap Cryptic here. They don't have enough mana to snap Terminus, luckily. So I'm fine with snap Cryptic. Bounce the Thought-Knot. That would be quite aggressive. Guess we're taking these vials up to 4 and 3 now. So they don't have that anymore. Unless they find a land plus path. We should be pretty okay. Ghost Quarter. Ooh, Flicker Wisp is a really good draw. We're actually going to Thought-Knot them before they untap, rather than trying to hit the draw step here, I think. No, we have Flicker Wisp to play on path now. We're going to draw step them. So what do they have? They know I'm putting in Thought-Knot, obviously. This just lets me take like a Terminus, or I guess not Terminus, but Supreme Verdict or something. Snap, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands. They can't do anything with that. I can just take the snap later. So we'll take the Cryptic now. Can you play Displacer and TKS for 5+ turns are my favorite ENT game? Same, man. Blink this thought out some more, I guess. Wow. Just not drawing anything either. I don't even need to blink this thought out again. I don't want to let them draw cards. We'll just leave them with this bad hand and take their Snapcaster Mage. We're not going to put in a Wisp, I don't think. Rather save it to try and counter a Path to Exile. This is one of the few things to do at this point. We can also Ghost Quarter this Azcanta. Life seems pretty good right now. Sure. Let's see what they get. Path to Exile, sure. Path my Displacer. That's fine. Flicker Wisp the Displacer. Now we should be pretty protected from stuff. Because we have double blinks. Ghost Quarter this Azcanta. I guess they have the second Azcanta, so this was actually a little bit dumb. Could always take their second Azcanta. But yeah, now Displacer comes back. We can draw step, flicker, Thought Knot again, and still have another flicker up. Their hand is, ooh, a Lyra and a Hieroglyphic Illumination. This Lyra is scary. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. They could technically Hieroglyphic Illumination into a like a Terminus or something, or like a Supreme Verdict. But I don't think I want to blink here. Maybe I do. Yeah, we can honestly, like, maybe beat a Path at this point. Maybe blinking is right. So they Hieroglyphic Illumination to Supreme Verdict, and then we get pretty hosed. Yeah, I'm gonna blink again. What's up, Palladian? How's it going? Lost to humans last night. Do I give a hit now or later? Losing to humans happens for sure. Oh, Jesus, we gotta take that Terminus. So now they can still Hieroglyphic Illumination into the Wrath, and then we basically lose the game immediately, but... I'm on Oh, you're on Scred? Oh, geez. I mean, sometimes you lose, like, really good matchups still. I lost to Burn trying to get my 5-0 last time I played this deck, so... This has got to be, like, main phase Hieroglyphic Illumination into try to hit Supreme Verdict, right? Because they can't try to hit Terminus on my turn, because I have... Yeah. Cycling it? That seems very loose. Oh, they're trying to hit Terminus, I suppose? Terminus as an additional out, but I'm not sure if that's correct. Field around my temple, yep. Ooh, that's a pretty good draw. Now they're probably dead. Guess they could always actually Azcanta into the Wrath, so maybe I should hold this thought. No, we'll have like Flicker Wisp, multiple Flicker Wisp flickers, so. Also see if they keep on top, which they did. And then they draw. So I would love to Thought Knot it. I suppose I could just Flicker Thought Knot instead, but that gives them like an additional card draw, so. Let's just Thought Knot and see what happens. They path my Displacer. Flicker Wisp. Flicker Displacer. So now even if they Azcanta into Wrath, they would have to Azcanta into Wrath into draw an untapped land and a path to exile for the Displacer to kill them. Find an opt, sure. They can't opt Terminus me. Also just Gonti them. Kind of want to Gonti them for value. Sure, it resolves. Ah, we beat the dreaded blue-white menace without any of our sideboard cards. We actually just like demolished my opponent with Displacer, Thought Knot, Flicker Wisp. Actually, just like completely ranched that opponent. They had a couple outs to definitely like try to swing the game back, but it ended up working out for us, so that's good. Anyway, sorry I wasn't paying that much attention to chat. Play against blue-white kind of draws a lot of my attention. Six and 3 against Miracles, not bad. Or blue-white, whatever you want to call it. Deck too fat. It's a real good deck right now. A lot of people are playing it. I'd much rather play against blue-white than Pyro, though, that's for sure. Fuck the Pyro matchup. That deck is so hard to beat. I'd say it's gas. Lead with Temple in case we somehow miraculously draw the second Temple. The old 3 in 53 chance, but might as well. And play Displacer or Thalia, depending on what the opponent's doing. Would rather play Displacer, because then that leads me into like the Violon 2 turn easier, but I'll jam the Thalia if they're on blue-white. We're 1-0 right now, Caleb. As much as I kind of don't want to jam this Thalia, you really want to gum up the opponent's works here in the early turns. We'll just draw Arbiter and punish my opponent here, please. Aw. At least they're smart. Like Red Leon and Arbiter. Hate it when opponents don't play Red Leon and Arbiter and then don't get punished for it. Feels really bad. You just jam Thought Knot here. Deal. Yeah, we can get planes. Just gonna Windmill Slam this Thought Knots here. What you got over here, opponent? A Crucible of Worlds, a Cryptic Command, a Terminus, and a Timely Reinforcements. These are all cards I kind of want to take. Yeah, 2-drop Path on my Thalia feels good. When I have Displacer in hand. And like a bunch more Thought Knot Seers and stuff. What do I want to take? I almost want to take like this Crucibles, like more land drops, because they're actually like pretty land light. Taking Timely seems... Actually, they don't even gain life yet with Timely. So they could just like cast it for 3 1/1s and not gain 6. Taking Crucible is like kind of the greedy line, especially if I'm going to be flickering this Thought Knot. My opponent's probably going to be drawing a bunch of cards, so I guess that takes probably Cryptic Command. Next turn I could just take the Timely after that, because they'll probably go like Land Crucible. Other in Crucible main. I've seen blue-white lists that play like a Crucible in the main. Supplements the Field of Ruin. Sure. Oh no, it's less life. They can. They do actually get the life in the soldier. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm dumb, but whatever. That doesn't actually do a lot still. It does stall them, but I just totally blanked on like the actual text of Timely Reinforcements. Ooh, we could actually Tide Hollow plus Flicker, which I kind of like way more than Thought Knot Flicker. We get super punished by them top decking. No, they would need to top deck both land, like 4th land, and then Supreme Verdict. Blue-white Ponza. Alright, so that means we can activate this Aether Vial, put in Displacer, cast this Tide Hollow, trigger on the stack, blink it. So this card goes under the Tide Hollow, which will be the Crucible, exile the Teferi forever. Seems fine. Get the Crucible, kill the Teferi forever. So I've been playing each round 25 lands and 2 Baby Karn, and I really like it. Yeah, Tiny Karn seems like a pretty good addition to Eldrazi Tron. I don't know how many 25 lands is, though. I'm not familiar with, like, the deck lists. So they have 1 card in hand, and it's Terminus, so we're pretty good there. I guess we can just attack with Thought Knot Displacer. If they block with a Soldier, I can just blink it out of the way. We are playing into, like, top deck Supreme Verdict if we leave a blink. I could Flicker Wisp out of the way and then just plan on displacing my Thought Knot. That might actually be better. Just adds more to the board, and they still won't have the Wrath ready. Let's attack like that. So they'd have to, like, triple block the Displacer, and then we could just blink one of the soldiers, or Flicker Wisp a soldier. Yeah, they can just chump block too, that's fine. In which case I don't have to do anything, I can just blink the Thought Knot. I can also play Arbiter. Draw a step. Blink this guy. Don't have lethal, even if we kill both the soldiers. Like, Flicker Wisp a soldier, untap, displace a soldier, we can only attack for 14. So there's nothing here that can, like, really get me. If they have, like, Snap Path or something. We have the Flicker Wisp to protect from any spot removal, we're gonna... I guess the only thing that gets me is if they just drew Supreme Verdict, and this Thought Knot Seer draws them into a second Supreme Verdict. Cryptic Command. Returning my Thought Knot and drawing a card. I'm just gonna Flicker Wisp this Thought Knot. Just so they don't draw the card, I guess. And just adds more to the board. we just have an insurmountable board state. Their hand is Jace and Terminus. Technically a combo. I'll just take the Jace. They still can't cast the Terminus. They're still mana away, so just kill the Jace. Guess we'll take this Vital to 4 so I can just Vital this other Thought Knot too. Ooh, we drew land number 6. Deal. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, it's still not lethal, but we can just attack with everything. They're just incredibly dead. They can double block the Tide Hollow. I'm just going to blink one of the soldiers out of the way. Draw a step. Just put in another Thought Knot. Sure, opt. Deal. Yeah, really roasting these blue-white players. Glad we made our sideboard changes before this league. Usually they don't pay off like that. Usually I make sideboard changes, then immediately queue into a bunch of things that my old sideboard would have been way better against. That's what I did last time. Cut all these stranglers, cut 2 paths, like that. Gonna roast these dirty blue-white players. Playing Cryptic Command, or playing Crucible Worlds, Timely Reinforcements. Get out of here. Thought Not Seer all the relevant cards. Again, Vile is legitimately like night and day in this matchup. When you have turn 1 Vile, it's so much easier to win. Your mana can just be used for other things. You can be activating your Displacers earlier. You can play around removal spells better with stuff like Wisp. So there's really resolve until it actually does. Yeah. If you've ever like activate Displacer on a Gonti, the game's just over. No Vile, like I was just talking about, but this hand's still okay. We have Arbiter Ghost. We have like Thalia and Arbiter Ghost Quarter, which is another very good start. Also, we'll just top deck Vile on turn 1 anyway. It'll be fine. It's okay. Nope, not jamming Search. Just getting that F6 value, playing around Arbiter. Yeah, Vile punishes these control decks that are playing like Logic Knots and Mana Leaks and stuff. We're just gonna slam Thalia. I'm gonna play Ghost Quarter here, in case we top deck a... no, that was dumb, because we can't top deck a second Ghost Quarter and, like, relevantly use it. It doesn't actually matter. It just gives my opponent the knowledge that we have a Ghost Quarter already when I cast this Arbiter next turn, so that was actually kind of stupid. You can Spell Snare this, which I've accepted my fate. If that's the case, I'm not going to play around Spell Snare with this hand. Alright, well, we get to live so far. The only problem playing with this Arbiter now is that they get, like, Path of Thalia and I don't get to search, but negligible downside, because we're definitely not strapped for lands. So just Tide Hollow them, but that seems worse. Looks like we're going to just cast Arbiter and leave Ghost Quarter up. If they just keep up this 2 mana the whole time. Just force them to, like, play awkwardly here. So now if they path my Thalia, I can just fire off the Ghost Quarter in response. So they kill my Thalia, but then we get to also strip mine them, and our hand is already pretty land heavy. Unfortunately, we can't strip mine now because my opponent didn't cast anything. But it, like, awkwardly taxes them. It makes them have to hold up 2 mana for a long time. And next turn we can actually just, like, play second Arbiter, too. So they'd have to have 4 mana here. Which they might. They might just pass. Boo. Opponent, no fun. You could also Tide Hollow plus Arbiter. I'm scared of what my opponent's doing here. I assume it involves a Wrath. So maybe the answer is like Tide Hollow, leave up Ghost Quarter to play around Wrath. Let's attack first. I'd be okay with Snapcaster just to like trade with Arbiter, because we have the second one. Attack first, see what happens. Also kind of concerned about a Baneslayer. Yeah, they're getting one more towards Wrath mana or Baneslayer mana. The fact that my opponents do just cast actual 0 spells make me think that they have a Haymaker of some sort in their hand. Worst case is that they, like, just path the Tide Hollow and then untap and play the Baneslayer and then we die, but I think we just have to play Tide Hollow and see what's going on. They can't Cryptic this, so they, like, mana leak it, we get to strip mine them. They get Spell Snare it, which would actually be kind of annoying. Response Path the Arbiter. I'm gonna guess. I don't know why they didn't path Thalia. Their last card land a fetch land for the Baneslayer? Do they just have a bunch of paths in their hand? We're gonna grab Swamp, so we don't take damage if we're activating this Shambling Vent. You're gonna, like, also path the Thalia? Okay. I think they did that in the wrong order. They just, like, gave me a land for no reason. Also, they lost a mana for no reason. Alright, what you got over there? Well, we're gonna take that Teferi. This Timely Reinforcements is really obnoxious, but this Teferi is exceedingly more so. We're also just gonna play this this Arbiter. I don't have any Wraths yet, so might as well just try to slam and go. We're pretty soft to any, like, Terminus or Supreme Verdict or whatever coming down the pipeline. My opponent's probably just gonna play Timely here, and we, like, don't get to attack with anything. I'd probably actually just attack with the Arbiter anyway. Trade 2 tokens for it. Lets my Tide Hollow attacking the 3rd token at least. Yeah, they'll shock, Timely, leave 2 up so I can't strip mine them. Makes sense. I think I'd rather play Shalai. Well, yeah. I'm gonna attack with Arbiter. Just jam the Shalai. Hope they don't find a board wipe anytime soon. Yeah, it's double block makes sense. Triple block. Don't know what they're, I guess, playing around like a removal spell. What are you doing? Okay. It's real awkward if they actually have a counterspell here. Don't know what they're opting into. It would have been really funny if they'd opted into Terminus with that Shalai on the stack. So this is the issue with Shalai in the blue-white matchup. In some instances, it's just this is just a 3/4 flyer for 4. It has no other text because if they draw Path, I guess it technically does protect the Tide Hollow because they want the Teferi back, but it's just like kind of awkward. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Again, if we play Thought now, we're just playing so hard into the board wipe, but especially because they like flip this Azcanta, just dig for the board wipe. What are you doing in there, Cam? I have like a Cryptic. I hope they have Settle the Wreckage. That'd be hilarious. This feels like Cryptic tap my dudes. Yeah, sure. I suppose there's an argument for like not animating the event there, in case of exactly this, but alright. Alright, we're losing to board wipes. Let's go. Ooh. Deal. We're not losing to that board wipe. Hey, stop that. That's my mic. Stop hitting it. It's not your toy. They milled the Vendilion Click. Get out of here, cat. Why are you being so annoying? Sure. If they have land and they hit, like, Verdict? The dream is they hit Terminus and then we draw a Displacer or Wisp. Hit Jace. They can cast a Jace and then either Brainstorm or bounce the Shalai, so they'll probably Brainstorm. Just really digging for that board wipe. Then I'll just throw the Shalai at it, and then throw the rest at their face. We have 6 now. Unfortunately, really feeling that there's a Wrath in my future. Hit Terminus too. We're just so dead. Perfect draw. Check Jace. Check face. They block the Thought Seer. Yep. I'm probably supposed to go score this Azcanta. It's actually really hard to beat this Colonnade, though, is the issue. Like, my board right now actually, like, can't attack into a Colonnade very effectively. So, like, if they don't actually have the Wrath here, I'd much rather be Ghost Quartering their Colonnade. So I'm not sure. I have, what, 3 Ghost Quarters and 2 Paths in my deck to deal with a Colonnade? It's only, like, real cards. I guess Displacer also deals with it. I feel like we're dead. I feel like we're dead in... so they block. They take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We actually can't even lethal them. Yeah. I'm going to let them get another Azcanta activation. That might be risky, but... if like actually didn't hit the board wipe in their top 3, then I think we can steal it. They might Azcanta in their upkeep if they haven't hit it. They just want to like get through their Brainstorm cards. Does that see more or less cards? I'm not sure. Oh, no, that's a Terminus. Well, we have Shambling Vent. Shambling Vent just got a... oh, yeah, and they get their Teferi back? Oh, yeah, we're just dead. Never mind. Forgot they had a Teferi sit under that Tide Hollow. Badass Kanto. Stop it, cat. Cat's being a huge pest. I have no idea why. The perfect draw. Go get him, Shambling Vent. You can do it. Only like 3 more turns of them drawing 2 cards a turn. Not finding an answer for my Shambling Vent. Notably, we did also like flood out really, really badly this game. And we almost won. It's like the desperate Jason to the board wipe. Was the only thing that could put them back in this game. Don't know what my opponent's waiting for. Just plus the Teferi. Doesn't have any other modes. What are you possibly considering here? Attacking with the Colonnade, maybe? At least we didn't draw a Vial. Yeah. If we had like had a Vial in turn 1, I think this game also would have like probably worked out more in our favor too. Being able to like more trickily just Arbiter plus Ghost Quarter and stuff. We might have been able to strip mine a card earlier. Keep them off mana. This Timely's also been like a pain in my side. The Timely gave them easily more than 10 life. I think it gave them 12 actually, right? They gained 6, blocked a Thought Knot, and then double blocked a Leonin Arbiter. Yeah, I gave them 10 life and killed my Leonin Arbiter. Timely was real obnoxious. Sure, yeah, just Jace. Why not? Oh no, my Shambling Vent! Die Colonnade. Now we just need to draw our Cataclysm, right? Oh wait, wrong format. Man, this format needs Armageddon. We need to punish these blue-white control decks. Right on time. Cataclysm would be pretty good. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. We're just kind of futzing around at this point. Get him! Boy, do I hate Planeswalker. Yeah, these guys are really putting us to the ground. They're just going like Option Terminus. Alright, I'm done with this game. Notably, they have like 3 Terminus in their deck at least, which is like I think usual. I don't think they play 4 very commonly. 4 needs an instant speed Vindicate, so we can deal with Jason Teferi, that's for sure. Like, I think BGX will have a much better time against that in that matchup now, because they're so all in on these Planeswalkers, and just having like a 2-mana Heroes Downfall thing that can also kill Search for Azcantos and stuff. Card seems very, very good. Alright, so we're back on the play this time. Still haven't played a single sideboard card in the 6, or I guess 4 postboard games. This is the 4th one, but you had to cast a sideboard card. Oh, this hand is atrociously slow. If we had a Temple, this hand would be great. Yeah, Anguish I'm making is just like really dirtily. Just get a Vial hand. Fuck. Well, it was nice knowing you. We were 1-1 against Miracle's Day, I suppose. Just like a 1-lander with a bunch of actually decent stuff. This hand had a Vial to actually be playable. Hopefully my opponent mulligans. Then we'll have a chance as we go to 5. If our 5 is like land, double Ghost Quarter, Aether Vial, Leonin Arbiter or something. we might be cooking something. New Vraska. I like the design of New Vraska. It's like a very niche planeswalker. It's like you can't just like jam it in every deck. Like, oh, it's just a devalue card like Teferi or Karn or Ob Nixilis or whatever. Plus card advantage minus removal. Although it is plus card advantage minus removal, but it's like in a different sense. But yeah, we can't keep the sand either. Fuck me, Jesus. Easy keep. Sand is just like miserable. Those weren't even like bad Eldrazi attacks as mana hands. Those are just like bad hands. Just all the way down the chain. We played 23 lands and just had a 7 that was like keepable. Like if you knew what the 6 and the 5 were, I would have definitely kept the 7, but the hand's never going to beat blue-white. The only way this hand beats blue-white is my opponent's hand is just all fetch lands. Last time I played around with a card like this probably was Liliana. Yeah, Vraska's for sure worse than... Like, 3 mana and 4 mana is, like, a very wide gap in Planeswalker power level. Especially a card that, like, can't protect itself as well. Like... Yeah, Vraska's fine. I don't think it'll see much play outside of Standard. I think it's a very niche card and can see play in, like, the right Standard decks, but... That's what I like in the Planeswalkers, right? They're not just like ubiquitously broken. I don't want the Teferis of the world just like, oh, if I'm blue-white, I'm playing this card because this card's insane. Not even every green-black deck in Standard would want this card. It requires a specific type of deck. Alright, this is their only land in hand that isn't a fetch land, and they don't have a Path to Exile. That's the plan. Yeah, Last Hope is busted. Oh, well. Step 1 did not prove well. Also, we can't even play the Shalai because our hand was triple Concealed Courtyard. Just actual nothing is breaking our way this game. It's just like, yeah, you've been doing too hot against blue-white. Let's take it down a notch. So we need to like top deck Bitter Blossom into Gideon, maybe? Could like Stone Rain me here. Kind of surprised they didn't, honestly. I guess they Stone Rain themselves too, because they don't get to search. Can you stop that? And just jam Shalai. So I think the comparison of the two ults to kind of to break up the distress here in the chat is so the nice thing about like certain ults that win the game are like inevitability essentially. Like Liliana's ult says, I can do nothing for the rest of the game and my opponent will still have a very, very low likelihood of winning. Whereas something like Vraska says, yes, you're probably very likely to win the game because it's such a powerful effect. But there's a chance that your opponent is like on Mardu or blue-white and will actually just like never let you have a creature. Whereas some ults legitimately just say, no more effort required, this game is over in the next like 4 turns if your opponent does not kill you by then. And you're just like making a huge board of blockers too, so they have to like combo kill you or hit you in the air with something. Just trying to elaborate for there. And it's definitely, like, obviously, Planeswalker ults are supposed to say, oh, win the game, basically. Win the game with very little effort required. But some Planeswalkers are win the game with no effort required. Stuff like Jace or Teferi, to a certain extent. Obviously, it doesn't win you the game if you're, like, behind on board, but if you're ulting Teferi, you're probably not behind on board. She's good, but I just, like, don't know. There's a pretty big tax on, like, being a 4-mana card in Modern, and I don't know if she hits that line. Like, you can play, like, a Chandra or an Obnix instead. Like, the difference between 4 and 5 is a lot smaller than the difference between 3 and 4. Don't know what my opponent is waiting for. At this point, my win condition is my opponent, like, just keeps randomly pausing or cutting out their internet or something. We just, like, time them out. Oh, now we're gonna get into, like, the Rock v. Jund argument. I'm not gonna touch that one. I probably will end up touching it, but... Just like all the GBX decks can play this card. It's just what depends on what you want. You can be Rock with a consistent mana base and like Field of Ruins, or you can be Jund with a better ability to turn the corner with like Raging Ravine, Bloodbraid Elf, Lightning Bolt, or you can be Abzan for Path of Exile, I guess. And it's not like either of any of the BGX decks are like terribly competitive right now. Terribly competitive as in like top tier. Obviously, like most of the BGX decks are good. Or good enough. Like, I'm sitting here playing with Eldrazi Taxes, which is a couple steps down from BGX in Modern. Sure. Whoops, I didn't pay 2. Oh well. I only have 1 more land in my deck. Opponent like slams Teferi here, pluses. Oh, Jace, sure. They get like minus on the Wisp, or just have a path in hand, plus it. Oh, they plus the Jace on me. I guess I am hellbent. Yes. Please save your arguments that will probably not be solved for a more relevant point of interest. Obviously, none of us are psychic. No one knows who's going to be like the best BGX deck or whatever. We can all theorize, but no one's going to know until we actually get Assassin's Trophy. Whatever. Yeah, as a Spirits player, I'd be happy that everyone's jamming whatever it's called. Yeah, Crater Maker was pretty bonkers. Playable in Legacy for sure. Really? What? Oh, yeah, I forgot they had even... Forgot A, that I had Arbiter in play, and B, my opponent had Fetch Lands in play. I don't know why my opponent keeps, like, opting. I guess because they were not planning on Terminusing. They don't want to take the damage there. Still not going to attack. It's going to be really fun when we draw a Thought Knot, too, and we actually just have, I think, almost every land in our deck that doesn't cast a Thought Knot Seer. This was a mole of 4, also. I guess Gred gets to kill Tron stuff. So yeah, we're super boned. I'm gonna type in the loss while we're sitting here waiting for my opponent to slowly kill me. I guess I should. Yeah. They technically get the strip mine because I was F5 or F6. I tried to F5 in time, realized what they were doing, but again, I really don't care. There's like an actual no % chance we're gonna win this game. Oh, yeah, sure, whatever. Now it F5s me? Thanks. So we actually can kill this Jace, I think, right? I give them a path if I flicker with the Snapcaster, otherwise I get punished by path on combo. They've already pathed me like 3 times. Should attack the Jace here. Oh, they do have another path? Sure. Oh, didn't pay again. It's like not paying any attention. Also, I could just be on like the normal basics version. I do have another basic planes in my deck that I've never found, but maybe it was right to like for sure kill that Jace there by flickering their Snapcaster, just because my opponent has 4 minutes on the clock and needs to kill me. But I think they can kill me with 4 minutes. 4 is a lot. There's actual nothing to flicker here, so. What's up, Kareta Furakaw? Furak? I don't know. Sorry I butchered your name. But how's it going? Just gonna like field around me, thinking that they can strip mine me now. Joke's on them. I have a. Oh no, we don't have basic ways to find. We actually finally drew the thought now with every single. No, we're missing a. We're missing a ghost, a godless shrine to have every single card that can't, every single land that can't cast this thought knot. Take a look. Oh, thanks. To cycle away that useless thought knot. Shut up, Dell. Man, the rate my opponent is playing, I'm seriously starting to regret not killing this Jace when I had the option. Yeah, go get my last land. I have no idea why they didn't let me keep that thought knot. Oh, they have a colonnade in the yard too that they can play? Shoot. If they're smart, they play the colonnade to not time out, but. Nope, they're just gonna try to like strip mine me out of this game. They might actually time out here. The colonnade will end the game pretty quickly though if they finally realize that. Oh no, we're 1 turn too late. Now we're just never gonna be able to cast it. We'll leave it back, I guess. Okay, I guess I could attack the Jace to kill a soldier rather than letting it sit here and eventually die to this Teferi. My opponent's real, just on a quest for the perfect victory. Oh, they just Teferi'd my Thalia. It's fair. They are trying to close this game finally. Oh, I should have attacked. Sure. Why are you... Sure. Keep it in King Vet Ghost Quarter, why not? Discard like Terminus land. Didn't I shuffle? I was pretty sure I actually searched so this Thalia wouldn't be on top of my deck. Yeah, so now we're gonna be out of lands though, so they'll have to realize that their colonnades in their yard and they can actually kill me. Not even activating their walkers, that's probably actually a good idea. Bitter Blossom, right on time. They realized it. They did it. Man, they're gonna win with like 15 seconds left on their clock. $20, yeah. Happens. This is like my least favorite type of match, though. Just like the time discrepancy is just kind of annoying. You're sitting here waiting. I'm 8.5 minutes up on them. It's like play the game at a reasonable rate, please. I get kind of bored. Like I'm fine with like running down the clock and like winning on margins like that, but if we're like both walking the tightrope, then that's better because it's just like it's been a very long game with a lot of important decisions to make. But my opponent would just, it's like I don't know, they're going to the bathroom, making a sandwich, internet cutting out maybe, but it gets boring when you're just sitting there waiting. Also, that was just like a multi 4. If we were on a 7, I don't think my opponent could have actually like won in a reasonable time frame. Fuck. What is with these hands? I've just been getting really unlucky on like all of my 7s for this like past week. Oh, this hand's bad. I don't want second land or second white source because I have Vial for the Wisp. I just want like actual stuff. It's kind of legacy like playing Elves and Maverick. It's guaranteed to time out if you play a fair deck. I've definitely met people like that. There are people on my own just like play glacially slowly. Man, are we gonna be 3 for 3 on blue-white decks today? This one could be several things, not necessarily blue-white. Blue-white-red. Could also just be blue moon. Could be like Storm with fetch lands, but it's not usually a site you see. Yeah, it looks like blue moon. I really want to draw Leonin Arbiter. Just been 4 to 5 times. A total left over 3 minutes. Yeah, it's so boring. It's the worst when you lose those games, too. At least when you win, it's gratifying. If you lose those, just like, thanks for just, like, draining an extra, like, 10, 15 minutes out of my life, opponent. Opponent's probably just going to, like, Bolt Thalia. But we have Flickerus to reset this thing. Tide Hollow to take some stuff. Ooh, we don't have anything, deal. Man, if we'd drawn Strangler here, would have been great. Attack, Tide Hollow, Strangle. How do I have 15 minutes as Quick Sister Miracles? Yeah, exactly. I'm playing the slow deck here. How are you the one going to time? I wonder if I'm supposed to cast this Displacer. I have Bolt here, sure. We're going to Tide Hollow right now. Because I want to take a removal spell. I don't really care about it draw stepping them. And I want, if like if an Opt is the best card in their hand or something, I can just take it here. Oh, Blood Moon seems like the best card in my opponent's hand, and we will just take that instead. But I could have actually taken the Opt here. But Blood Moon seems significantly more scary. Play Displacer. My opponent does get to like opt into Serum Visions and stuff. It was like Serum Visions to flip this thing, hit me for 7. But we don't really care about thing flipping. We could Displacer Blink it or Flicker Wisp it or something like that, so. Yep. Oh, remand their own Serum. That's clever. Sure. The horror has been awoken. I get to recast the Serum too. Hit me for 7, but we just have like infinite ways to deal with it. I think I need to Wisp it. It's actually a little bit awkward here. Because I won't be able to deal with this Blood Moon. Could actually just like double Ghost Quarter myself. I'm gonna take this up to 3. Ooh. I think we just Arbiter Ghost Quarter them off of red. Just Flicker Wisp this Awoken Horror. Oh, they drew the Sulphur Falls. Bogus. Well, now we take this vial up to 4 for Thought-Knot? Maybe not. Maybe I want to put more beaters into play first. Like Displacer. Yeah. I think I'd rather put more 3s into play first. So yeah. We Ghost Quarter them off of their only red source. They needed to actually just draw straight up like Sulphur Falls or Steam Vents or something there, which I found pretty unlikely. Fortunately, it worked out for my opponent. Alternatively, I could have also like just taken the extra 7, but I don't like going to 6 against the Bolt deck. Feels pretty risky. Snap Bolt, the Flicker Wisp, probably. Play Mountain. We just have to attack with both. Probably just block, yeah. But it helps me to attack with the Displacer in future turns. Alright, the plan is this Thought-Knot just carries me the entire distance. Oh, wow, that is obnoxious. Yeah, now we're just dead. Ugh. Yeah, the Fate's just really not breaking my way this league. Did manage to like demolish the first blue-white player, but the second one just like mulled a 4 into running cards I don't want to see out of Blue Moon. So against Blue Moon we board similarly. I think we want Fatal Pushes over Paths because they're on the Thing in the Ice version. Alternatively, I could also like I think Zealous is fine. Pontiff's a little weaker, but Zealous can actually like reasonably kill a Thing in the Ice because a lot of our creatures attack with 2 power, so you can Zealous your guy to a 3 power creature and their thing down to a 3 toughness creature. But what are the bad? Arbiter is a bad card in this matchup. They're a 2-color deck. What else? Shave Displacers. I usually shave like colorless requirement cards. Be right back. My cat's being a pest. Dumbass cats. Can't wait for you to stream Abs and Hate Bears. I know the list you're thinking of, but I have a different list. But I do actually have an Abzan Hate Bears deck in the backlogs of things I need to stream. It's really bad, but it's not Leonin Arbiter and Assassin's Trophy bad. I guess we can shave down paths. Still not like that. Maybe it's not worth having 4 removal spells. No, fuck it. Could probably keep in like all my displacers, cut all the paths maybe. 4 feels like a lot. I'm not gonna keep nothing but a 4-drop against a deck that can easily just deal with a Gideon. His hand is significantly better, I think. Not significantly, his hand still kind of sucks, but I think we just need a Flicker Wisp. We just need action. So now we'll just top deck Thalia. I'll be right in the world. I'll also accept Eldrazi Temple. Done. The Fates have spoken. The Fates are working with me this time. So 3 lands, Electrolyze, Cryptic Jace second thing. Electrolyze is actually pretty obnoxious against this Wisp. I don't want them to, like, Jace me. I feel like Path 1, Flicker 1 just killed the Jace. I think I'm actually going to take this Electrolyze to protect my Wisp. I can always Flicker my Thought Knot to take one of their 4-drops next turn. Best draw would be, like, Leonin Arbiter. Arbiter, Path, Ghost Quarter. Thought Knot's pretty hard for Blue Moon to deal with. Fortunately enough. They didn't cast second thing. But if they have an Abrade, sure. Tide Hollow. Would have been real nice to just Tide Hollow Wisp here. Instead, I think we're just Wisping. So they drew 4th land. They don't have Cryptic mana, so we just take this Jace. Stalls them on, like, this crypt is going to be annoying later when they get tapped on my stuff, but the Jace is probably pretty annoying, like, right now. We can always title the Cryptic next turn as well. If they play second thing, we know they drew garbage. Guess I shouldn't actually F6. Because they could have just like slammed Blood Moon there, and I don't get to go screw myself with a white to cast this path. Just gonna abrade my Wisp. Sure. These draws kind of blow. They're gonna like loot away their thing here. Suppose that would make some sense. The second thing's probably not great because you already have the first. Really love to draw stuff that isn't lands. Eldrazi Displacer would be nice. We did cut 2 of them at this point. Really be nice to have Eldrazi Displacer instead of this path. Might just Ghost Core this Desolate Lighthouse here. Now that they have Cryptic mana. Does make me a little weaker to a Blood Moon, but because I can't Ghost Core myself for like the white. This deck makes me concerned. I guess maybe it's like an Anchor of the Gods or something. Deck makes me feel like my opponent's going Wrath in some capacity here. Multiple paths. Maybe they just have like, I don't know what this would be. I guess the attack is because they're not going to block the Thought Knot here, and this thing can just block the Tide Hollow. So we'll just path this thing, deal more damage here. Especially because we have the second path. What are you guys doing? These cats are just going insane. Oh, they did draw a Braid for my Tide Hollow, sure. They can't cast a Cryptic yet. Kind of be happy if they, yeah, sure, please bounce my Thought Knot. It makes them not take 7 or take 4 here, but it means I get to Thought Knot them again. Oh, they actually picked up their Snapcaster too, but which we can at least then like re-Thought Knot on entry. Could have also like pathed it a second time, but I think I'd rather just cast this Thought Knot. Again, this Thought Knot is just kind of a hard-ish card for them to beat. A lot of their deck deals 3 damage. That's quite the hand. Snap, Snap, Cryptic, Blood Moon. That's actually incredibly obnoxious, because like all of this deals with the Thought Knot Seer. If I take a Snap, Snap, Abrade trades. I was thinking, oh no, he's gonna gain summon life now. Wrong format. If I take snap, my opponent can just like Blood Moon me, go to 3. I'm not able to pat the second one. It's risky if they do Blood Moon me though, because then they can't like hold up snap a Braid. Could just take Blood Moon and like plan to somehow win. I think taking the Blood Moon might actually be my best shot at winning. I don't think I'm gonna be able to like close the game with this Thought Knot. Wait, oh yeah, they did have the Cryptic in hand. I don't know why I X'd it out. Strangler's not great. So my opponent can double snap block or just like snap a Braid. Or just Cryptic, so I think we have to attack here. They have to like cast both snaps in order to trade with this Thought Knot here. I guess no, they have enough to... No, they don't have enough to snap a Braid plus Cryptic. So they can just snap, target a Braid, then declare blocks. Then I can path it. And then they can either cryptic the path, but then they can't abrade the Thought Knot, or they can... Yeah, they can't really do anything else. Because their hand is snap cryptic right now. The issue is we can't get them to cast a second Snapcaster, so we can like Strangler it. Ooh, pick up the Snapcaster, draw a card. That's their best play. That's smart. Our best bet is to like draw a Tidehull or something, try to bait them into casting a snap or something. Folly is interesting. Folly means I can finally actually start attacking into these snaps. I'm not firing off now. Don't want to trade. Ooh, deal. If they like snap cryptic this, we can actually attack here. Counter draw. Yep. This just means I get to Strangler the Snapcaster though, right? So one of the cards they still have in their hand is the second Snapcaster. So we need to draw like a Fatal Push or something to be able to push through this thing. And if they have like another Bolt, then it doesn't matter. They can just clear the Thought Knot. We could draw Displacer. Snapping now probably means they drew a Bolt. Oh, Snap Visions. Interesting. They could just like have the Bolt in hand, maybe? Block plus Bolt from hand. They topped. That's wonderful. Oh, they're gonna click me. Man, we drew the Strangler too. We actually we just had it. Hopefully we get clicked from Strangler into another Strangler. Ooh. It's not bad. We just blink the click here. if they double block. They can click themselves, but that's fine too. We just kill it. They can't, like, bolt this Thought Knot. Guess we just draw step this. Wow, they concede. They're dead. That was something. That was very surprising. I was pretty confident that we were going to lose that game, especially with the click on the Strangler there, but that was certainly something. I feel like my opponent could have won that match had they done something differently. Like, I don't know what. They probably could have, like, not just snapped Visions to that turn or something like that. Scry top concede. Exactly. Oh, these are the perfect cards for this. And then you can go from that to, oh, wait, I'm actually just I lose here. I almost want this Pontiff, the number X ones in their deck. Like Vendilion Click and a bunch of Snapcasters, but realistically, I think I'm just supposed to, like, bring back in Displacers and, like, cut all these paths. These paths actually, like, did actually help me punch through, but in the early game, I think if that path had just been an Eldrazi Displacer, it would have been a lot more helpful. Not positive on that one, though. Bring in Stony Silence. Yeah, get him. Walked away second during the last bullet. No, they won with like 20 seconds left on the clock's tees. They finally realized they can play Colonnade and and heighten their clock by like 3 turns or something. Basically never cut Displacer in control. Yeah, it's like definitely super important, but it's just like really miserable against Blood Moon decks. There's a chance I'm supposed to, like, I thought about it when I hit submit during game 2, is that I've realized that I can actually cut all my paths in this matchup. Sorry for your blue white. Yeah, that matchup just, we mulled to 4, and then, like, they had 20 seconds left too, so if we had just had a reasonable 7, they would have, like, never won. I think I like this iteration more. Didn't realize that, like, I can just cut all my paths, just leaving 2 pushes, because whatever it's called, Thing in the Ice is not very scary. The only card that's, like, scary in this matchup is Blood Moon. Oh, this hand's great. We have Bitter Blossom. Maybe we'll just top deck Aether Vial, but Blue Moon's very hard pressed to actually beat a Bitter Blossom. Cut play for Ponte. That's a possibility, but I like having some number of answers to a thing. To a Thing in the Ice here. I instinctively said to a thing as in, like, to the whatever the creature's name is, but the creature's name is actually just Thing. Hilariously enough. So even if we get Blood Moon, we have, like, several castable cards in our hand and a Bitter Blossom in play, so not the worst, but I'd for sure like to Tide Hollow Strangle or something, this Thing in the Ice. Or it's like not get Blood Moon this turn would be excellent. Could Thalia. Yeah, Bitter Blossom's gas and these very super attrition-y matchups. Whatever I play here is just, like, definitely not long for this world is the issue. So I don't think it's going to be Scholar, because if I draw another colored source, I can actually Scholar plus Strangler in the same turn. So it's either Thalia or Displacer. I think it's Displacer. Maybe not, because we have second Temple. We'd be able to, like, Displacer Blink. I guess it's just Thalia. Oh, I'm done. No, I shouldn't have played the Temple, because I literally just talked about if I draw a colored source. Now I can't do that thing that I was talking about. Thalia, they can't Moon. Yeah, I mean, they could, like, removal spell on Tap Moon. But more likely here is that I'm just going to, like, play Displacer next turn and then be able to blink this thing. Hopefully they don't Blood Moon me. If they Blood Moon me, this thing's probably going to wreck shop. But they didn't have a Blood Moon last turn. I also have Cryptic up here, so this Displacer might just taste it. Get him, Fairy Rogue. Yeah, we'll just play Displacer here. We always play Vial if they do end up like crypticking this. Ooh, deal. I almost still want to play Vial, but I think I'd rather just be able to blink this thing. My opponent could easily flip this in 2 turns with like some ops or something. They don't like Keranos me or something on 5. Huh. Alright, they're Keranosing me. Oh man, I hope we draw like a black source. Basic swamp, so we just flicker with this Keranos. God, that would be hilarious. Ho 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 ho! Ho 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 ho! A black source, you say? Nice Keranos you got there, buddy. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it. Also, if we untap, we just have, like, Displacer, Flicker with Wasteland Strangler, so... And we just drew Thought Knot, everything's going great, life's great. Crunch. I guess maybe I should have, like... Probably not cast here. Oh yeah, they're just cracking the E, sure. I can just, like, flicker both the wisp the thing, and then you flicker the Strangler, eat the other thing. Just on 6 mana here. And then play Aether Vial. Nice things in the ice, opponent. I think we're good here. I think we win. Angry Gods me do it. Oh, Braid. Weak. Guess I'm supposed to cast Thought on in case they can, like, snap block this Strangler. But, whatever. Yeah, sure, just fuck it. Cast this thing, too. What's your last card in hand? Mountain? Great. Now they're dead even if they anger the Gods me. Leave this Tidal in hand, because if somehow they're not dead next turn, we can, like, validate on their following draw step. Jeez, that was brutal. That land was such a good draw. I'll add Keranos to the things that Wasteland Strangler has used to kill something else. There's Blue Moon on this list. Have I played against Blue Moon ever? Oh, here it is. Once. Path to Keranos. Things in exile. NTC is so consistent when you play it. I don't know. I mulled a 4 round 2. And also, wait, did we mulligan a bunch that game? Was that the game? No. We mulled pretty horribly one of those games in that match, I think. You lose to your mana like 2 games a league. We lose. I guess none of our losses have actually like been to our own mana too. Like the really bad mulligan to 4 was just some unkeepable hands. the 7 had like decent mana, but it was just 3 lands and 3 and 4 drops, which is like not something you're gonna be blue-white with. See, this is a hand that has terrible mana. One says good luck. You two. We're on the play. Play Arbiter, play nothing else. Eh. Only losing to 6. Alright, Arbiter. Now's your time to punish. Infect. His hand's decent against Infect. Could also be, like, Bant, Company, whatever. Either way, we're just gonna slam this Arbiter. If they play a guy, we can, like, Ghost Quarter path. Just wreck their life. Ooh, it's just this. Oh yeah, it could have been Spirits too, but got this voice. Ghost Quarter your land. Play this other Ghost Quarter. Attack. Fortunately, they have this Hierarch. Yeah. That's rude. Also, unfortunately, we're not drawing anything. The old Shambling Vent Ghost Quarter double Tide Hollow Scholar hand. Ooh, they could Field Ruin me. That seems like a bad idea. That seems like a much better idea. Are they just like playing like that Todd Stevens Bant pile deck? I wonder if I want to Ghost Quarter this Field Ruin. Probably not. Maybe I do now. Just cast some Tide Hollow Scholars. No, this Knight's just... Nightfall. Yeah, it could be Nightfall. It could just be like Todd Stevens' Bant pile, I think. I forget if that deck plays birds. I think I'm winning this game with Flyers, so I don't think I want to be like throwing away my mana here. Maybe I do, though. Eh. We've committed to one plan. Stay on target. We're playing Nightfall, just like 4th grindy matchup in a row, and I just hate my life. Ignore Arbiter, sure. They'd like Knight this land into a Ghost Quarter and Ghost Quarter me. The right play here is a draw path. That'd be a good play. Yeah, I agree. Guess they don't have Ghost Quarter in their deck. Wow, yeah, it's just Todd Stevens' Bant pile, I guess. Two for 6/6. Let's go. Hey, we can almost get it. Yeah, it attacks is like an 8/8 too. So we need to block this. What's our plan here? I thought not Seer. It doesn't do a whole lot. You just have like double Soul Wreckage. Guess our plan is just chub block this Knight until we find an answer, which means we're taking the Teferi. I'm going to attack the Tide Hollow here. And we're just going to chump block here with the Arbiter. Wisp Coder. That doesn't do anything, right? Just going to come back on end step. It like gives me a flyer in play, but I don't know if that matters. So like Wisp put on end step or something. We could do something with that. They even do the 5th land, so we can't like Thalia them out of this Settle the Wreckage. And they have 2, so we can't Tide Hollow them out of this Settle the Wreckage. We just like keep playing chump blockers until we find a better thing to do. I could Flicker Wisp. I could attack Flick. No, I can't attack Flicker Wisp the Thought Knot because they're just gonna cast Settle the second I attack with something. If only Shalai was an Eldrazi. Oh man, yeah, getting Shalai down here would actually just be insane against these Settle Wreckages. We still couldn't like attack for lethal. So you have all these stupid blockers. Return, yeah. And Innistrad meets... When Emrakul goes to Dominaria, we'll get Shalai, Voice of Emrakul. If only Shalai was a Blade Splicer. Would be really nice to have a Blade Splicer here. We just play more chump blockers. Technically, I could trade my entire board into this Knight, and then get another Knight, so... Probably not a super good plan. Much rather just, like, draw a second Path to Exile. Wasteland Strangler, huh? Could kill one of their things. And then chump block with it. And get rid of this Knight. Actually, lets me like chump block with this Scholar, too. Unfortunately, they have 5 creatures, so if they block with the Voice here, then their token... Could also just like Flicker Wisp the token if they block with Voice here. Kill the Voice token. Use the Flicker Wisp to chump the Knight. Hello again, cat. Now I'm confused. Do they finally realize that they should be knighting for something? Man, I really wish we would have drawn land here. I guess we'll strangle something. Grand is just settle. Why did they stop attacking with this Knight? I'll kill this Birds of Paradise, because this Birds of Paradise could actually, like, lethal me. I don't think Double Exalted matters much. Cat, stop whatever you're doing. Get out of here. It's also the only flying blocker, which is also relevant at this stage. So if we draw a land for this Shalai, we might actually be able to lethal them with Wisps. Don't know what they're knighting into. Do they like have a toolbox land? Oh, Gavany. Fair. Strangle Bird, Flicker Wisp. Yeah. Oh, maybe I should have attacked with Wisp there. I'd rather like find the Shalai and force them to not be able to cast Settle the Wreckage. That's like the current plan. That doesn't matter. If they settle the Wisp, you can attack. But the Shalai prevents them from casting Settle, so that means that I can just lethal them in 2 turns, attack them with the Wisp down to 4, and then attack with Shalai plus Wisp. Rather, if they settle this, and then I play Shalai... Oh, I could have, like, grabbed the land. I guess that's the intention. That's fair. Yeah, I didn't think about getting the land. Getting luckier would be nice. Land? One time? Ah, fuck you, deck. I did ask for land. Didn't specify. We have a decent number of chump blockers. The issue is that these hierarchs are going to get into lethal range, I think, before we can get these Shalais down to kill. We might be able to stall long enough. So we might put it never like also draws a Path to Exile or something like that. It's gonna be really funny if they just like Ghost Quarter. Wait, they did have Ghost Quarters in their deck. I'm surprised they didn't tutor for that like 9 million turns ago. Way back when I was on 2 lands or whatever, and I was like, couldn't be dead if they just go Ghost Quarter me. Oh, they have Path? They have Spell Queller? Fuck. That's also lethal in the air, right? Because they can just untap Gavany, attack me for 5. Actually force them to block, right? Hang on, how does this work out? If I attack with like Flicker Wisp plus Thought Knot, they have to block something. So they like double block this, I kill a Noble. They draw a card, but then they go down a Noble Hierarch and a land. We chump block this. This is 4. I think that's our best plan at this point. Attacking with everything's suicidal, because then we just add the Knight, but... Yeah, we can't swing out, but I think we can swing like that. I suppose that block was probably the sanest for my opponent. Oh, they just have Path. That's rude. Jeez, my opponent drew a lot of real strong cards there. The Spell Queller into like removal spell. I don't think the removal spell is better. I think we're probably pretty dead after that Queller, but still had a couple shots to stay in that game. Don't know if Bitter Blossom's worth it here. This is a matchup where I think Settle the Wreckage sucks, but I think Worship might be like slightly better. I think Recipes also kind of sucks. It's like only hits their Night plan, and they're still like a Jace Teferi deck is the weird thing. There's like a mid-range Jace Teferi. So these cards are all great. Sneeze Train. These cards are insane, and Thalias suck. I know that for sure. And there are like a number of cards that I could consider bringing in. I like name Snooze Train. I like vaguely like Bitter Blossom. Does Bitter Blossom being able to like chump block a Knight a bunch, and also being able to just like poop out Flyers? Flyers are a good way to win these like super dirtily green-white value matchups. What am I even cutting? I don't think Settle's particularly good. I think the first card I'm bringing in are these four is Bitter Blossom. Don't think Gideons are okay. Again, maybe. Where do they have paths? So maybe it's Gideon is like a good plan to beat their weird value grindy plan. I'm boarding like this. And then what am I cutting after that? Shave down on Tide Hollows, but their deck is pretty removal light, so Tide Hollow seems pretty strong. Thought Knots, maybe not. Fuck, I like all these cards. Chat, I don't know what to do. Help. Just like shave random things. Shave like a Scholar and a Thought Knot and a Displacer or something. Some stupid. Displacer seems nuts in this matchup. Just gonna like shave all our twos. Worship should be in. They have Dromoka's command, so we know they're not stone dead to worship. And they probably have like Quisali's or something stupid. They have Reverse Knight. No, we're against the Todd Stevens Bant Value Town deck. It's just like his green-white Value Town deck, splashing blue for Teferi and Jace. It's a very silly deck. Man, this hand kind of blows. I feel like hit some consecutive land drops. His hand's great. I think it's good enough to keep, but they can also just like kill me with Jace or Teferi, right? They just have so many ways to beat a worship. Jace, Teferi, Dromoka's command, right? Like they can take control of the board and Jace ult me or Teferi ult me. Start running lands for the rest of the game. It's Floodlight Crazy deck. You can do it. I believe in you. Play a Knight. Yep. Land, please. One time. Deck. Land, land, go. Land, land, land. Now. Sweet. This is the deck that SG called Bant Super Frenzy, even though it had 4 Planeswalkers. Probably. If Todd Stevens was playing it, then definitely. God, I really want to Ghost Quarter them. I want to Ghost Quarter them so badly. Maybe I'm supposed to. We have Tide Hollow. I have no indication my opponent's going to miss a land drop here. I think my mana is more important than my opponent's, considering my hand has 3/4 drops in it, so I'm not going to Ghost Quarter, even though it's a real tempting Strip Mine. Oh, man. My opponent doesn't have any lands. Now my opponent just, like, gets to Spellcaller my thing, too. Fuck. Well, I'm just going to cast Tide Hollow so they can Spellcaller something garbage. Actually, I think I'd rather than, like, Spellqueller my, like, Ambush Viper my Leonin Arbiter so I can cast a Shalai or something. So I think I'm attacking first. Rather than kill a Leonin Arbiter and let me cast a 4-drop this turn. I'd also, like, have double Ghost Quarter them if we did this here. But yeah, this is, like, totally fine. I think, well, you can double Strip Mine. I thought about it. But then, like, what am I doing after the double Strip Mine? I just, like, can't beat a 2/3 already. I need at least, like, jam or 4s. And before Dromoka's command. Actually, no, that can't. The thing would need. No, it's like. No, that would work. Alright. Got a Scavenging Ooze. This is Jace. Jace bounce Shalai. Ugh. I need to kill this Jace, though. Just get, like, plus this Gideon. Alternatively, I could also 0 the Gideon. And I'd have, like, Ghost card myself for Shambling Winds? No. I'd rather plus the Gideon here. These Aether Vials have been such good draws. So they actually can't kill Gideon as the board sits right now. They could just attack with Skoos. I don't know if I'm supposed to trade here. I think I will. So I could actually, like, plus again, and then play Gonti. Plus again leaves it not dead to Queller. Gonti can actually just block the Scavenging Ooze. I don't need a Ghost card myself, at least. So let's Gonti first. If we get Spell Queller, it's real abysmal, but such is life. Boo, opponent's no fun. So I'd rather make a 2-2 here, at least. Going out, since my Gideon is for sure dead here. Double Queller is obnoxious. You draw Path. Path the Spell Queller. Be in this game or something. Jeez, Nissa Vastwood Seer? What is this deck? Nissa's gonna, like, flip next turn, too. Yeah, that seems like a good draw. I figured that was, like, the last card in their hand here. Play a bunch of Aether Vials. I did ask to flood out in my defense. Or in my deck's defense, I suppose. The Nissa Vastwood Seer. Yeah, it seems like you lost a bet of, like, hey, top 8 this open with a Nissa Vastwood Seer in your deck. Man, it'd be really nice to have a Settle the Wreckage here. Just imagine if we double strip mine them. That's fair, but my opponent also hit a bunch of lands, so... Also, the hindsight is 20/20, yada yada. Man, is Zealous Persecution really gonna give my opponent the business? How are they ever gonna beat it? Especially because they get 2 elementals. Alright, I'm done with this game. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to strip mine when I have a bunch of 4-drops in my hand, and my opponent's not guaranteed to make a land drop, or is not guaranteed to not make their land drop. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. On the back. The world's longest league of just a bunch of grind. But double strip mining is always value. Double strip mining is not always value when your hand is a bunch of uncastable spells after you strip mine them, and they have a board that already brick walls yours. Like, I don't know. As the board sat, if I double strip mine them, I need to, like, then top deck running lands before my opponent does in order to beat the board as it sits currently, right? My opponent has a 2-3 and I have a 2-2, and that's the entire board. I'd say it's fine. Always value. Can't argue with that logic. You got me there, Chylith. You top deck running fine. One of the 4-drops in my hand was a Gideon. Also, the Vials would have taken like 8,000 turns to get to 4. Storm is my guess. Could just be like a blue deck playing snow coverts for fun. I think you played a part with that matchup. I mean, yeah, the green white deck matchups are pretty miserable. And there's definitely merit to like the other plan of just double ghost quarter cross fingers, but these cats need to stop fighting. Let me kick this cat out again. Stupid cat. Quite hard to deal with. Way more value than... Yeah, this deck is not well... If my opponent's deck is playing like Noble Hierarch and Birds of Paradise in it, it's generally not a good matchup. Yeah, this feels a lot like Storm. Ooh. Do I care if this gets remanded? I could, like, Sculler to pave the way for the Thought Knot. I think you win a reasonable amount of games to that. Their mana base can be greedy. You said I don't think it's the right way. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely merit. There's merit to both plans. Obviously, like, looking back on it, then the double ghost quarter plan might have worked out better, but that's with the information I had in future turns. But there's also the plan of, like, I'm probably not going to win this game unless I can double strip mine and cross my fingers. Yeah, I don't really care if they remand here. You can just slam Thought Knot again next turn. And before they have, like, 2 Lords in hand and third land and a bunch of rituals, and I just die. If I had a Thalia, I would have put it in on my turn, opponent, but feel free to use up your mana. At least we have Storm as our final boss here. Oh god, this is a hand that exists. So they have a Storm guy, but I don't really care about that because I have this Path to Exile. It's honestly like the Gifts Ungiven, I think. Although I could always just Thought Knot that next turn. Could just be the Serum or like the Manamorphose or something. God, I don't know. It's just a bunch of cards that exist. None of which I am like overly concerned about, but I guess maybe it is the Electromancer, right? Because if I tap out for Thought Knot next turn, I don't have any. I have a Flicker Wisp to answer it too. So many options. Take gifts, and then just like Thought Knot a different card. But I'd rather Thought Knot the gifts, right, if anything? Because I'd rather them get back a shittier card, assuming they, like, repeal my Tide Hollow Scholar or something, and untap. So I'd rather take the Manamorphose or the Desperate Rid or the Serum Visions, and then plan on Thought Knotting these gifts. Flicker the... Oh, Flicker the... Take TCast the Morpho. I could also just, like, Flicker Wisp the... Thought Knot. I'm gonna take the Manamorphose. If they don't play the... If they don't run out the Electromancer, we can, like, Thought Knot Flicker Wisp. Play the Steam Bounce. There's no Hero of Blade Hold command. So I guess they're jamming Electroman here. Nope. Just shocking and then playing Serum Visions? That seems aggressive, opponent, but I'll take it. One top, one bottom. Ooh, a Strangly, huh? We just jam this Thought Knot. Take this gift. They like Electroman try to go off. We have Strangly. So they play this Chivalry for turn. Play the Electroman, sure. If they Desperate Rit, we just strangle it. So they actually have repeal for 2 up here, so they could like repeal my Tide Hollow, but I'm just gonna put in this Displacer. They can't like kill me on an end step, so you can also like Desperate Ritual repeal my Thought Knot, I think, if they wanted. But again, sure. Just replay the Thought Knot the following turn. We can also just like Stone Rain them here if we want. Next turn we untap, we can Wisp land and like strangle the Electromancer. I'd almost rather get rid of this Manamorphose out of here though, from underneath this Tide Hollow. You play, they could have had a turn to go as repealing your file to reset it and clear the way a bit. Yeah, that's a thing they could have done. Like when they shocked that one turn and decided to cast Serum Visions, they could have like repealed the vial instead to make my turns more clunky. Might have been the correct way, honestly. This vial's definitely like letting me just spew my hand and crush them. What are they trying to play around here, I wonder? I'm gonna repeal the Tide Hollow. Repeal the file. Yeah, I was a little bit too late on that one. Would have let them try to go off. I would have played it very differently, obviously. I would have like been like leaving up this path, or I would have just taken the Electromancer on one of these things. Yeah, it's a little late for that one, buddy. So I was gonna put in... Maybe I'm supposed to put in Strangler here now, just to kill this Tide Hall, or... Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put in Strangler now, so I can strangle this. The card I do have to be on the lookout for is like Past in Flames, but they're pretty far from manualing that. They don't even like enough rituals to go off with it anyway. Well, that's a good draw. We can just like play Displacer, flicker my Tide Hollow. That should be the game. Yeah, the game's just over. Deal. Do love the Storm matchup with this deck. Alright, Storm Sideboard sitting right here. And these rest in pieces. Cut some number of like Flicker Wisps and Eldrazi Displacers in this matchup generally. After you cut all the Arbiters. Sorry for bringing like the Settle the Wreckage as another answer to Empty, because the post-board games almost always lead to like you losing to empty if you're going to lose. But I think 2 answers to empty is probably enough with Pontiff plus Zealous. There were times where I brought in Settle, but that was usually when I was only on like the one of Neg 1 effect. So I think it's fine just to have like the 2, plus all the other disruption, obviously. I'll just lose to set. I'll lose to Empty the Warrens game 2 though, and then tilt off and tilt board in my Settle the Wreckage, and then like lose to Grape Shot game 3 because I have a Settle the Wreckage instead of like a Flicker Whisper Displacer. Bringing Worship for empty. I mean, it's about as good as Settle, right? I guess it's harder for them to play around. Instead of Zealous Persecution? No way. I'm always bringing Zealous Persecution for Worship for empty. Because Zealous Persecution can also just like kill the opponent a turn faster. Worship does stone nothing. They can also beat it if they have like, I guess like empty and Grape Shot doesn't matter a whole lot. Because then you just like Grape Shot your face to death. Sounds great. I think I'm going to lead on the Courtyard. There's a much higher likelihood I draw a way to cast Tide Hollow than there is like the 1 of 3 temples I draw to cast the Thought Knot. Which makes it a bit harder for them to storm. I mean, not by much, right? The deck can't go. Oh wow, my opponent just like empty me here. How many rituals do they have? Like when Storm's going off, they can get to a very high Storm count. Empty for 8. I wonder if I can beat that. Feel like the answers maybe. We do have like multiple Stranglers. Hitting that was reasonably relevant. We're actually just gonna run out of Strangler, start blocking Goblins, I think, and then next turn I can Tide Hollow plus second Strangler. So a good number of hands where it's forced to. Yeah, I think Zealous Persecution is just like infinitely better than Worship though in this matchup for sure. There are going to be way more cases where Zealous Persecution is good. Like Worship would be terrible here, whereas Zealous Persecution would just like end the game on the spot. As it sits right now, we might still be able to win. Yeah, Worship's like fine, but Worship's in the settle spot of like it's okay to bring in, not great. Don't really care about it too much. It's gonna be really embarrassing when they have 2 lands in hand. This Tide Hollow just misses. Ooh, snap off taking this Grape Shot. Might even just play the Thought, not take the Brawl. Next turn I can push Path and Strangler. Yeah, let's just empty their hand here. If this was the case, I decided that too late. I should have put the Brawl underneath this Tide Hollow. Much rather than never get this Grape Shot back. Although I'm probably going to be putting the Grape Shot in their graveyard anyway. But that's worse against Past in Flames. So. Yeah, not the correct line. But unless they find, like, Past in Flames and some more mana. They need, like, 6 mana and Past in Flames to kill me, I think. Hello, cat. Pieces. Oh, that's probably, like, the actual best possible they could have drawn. Mill thing. Spire Bluff. Second pieces. They kept Past in Flame red. Oh, fuck. This is just, like, getting worse and worse. Oh, never mind. We drew another Thought Knot. We're good. Thought Knot this Past in Flames. So we want to make sure we don't die to a bolt. So how do we... Can we attack here, ever? We'll be able to kill one, so they'll have 5 goblins left. So we need to block 3 of them. We'll be able to block, block, block. So yeah, I can actually attack with Thought Knot here to stay at 4 life. Because I do need to actually kill them at some point. What you got there, opponent? You gonna attack? They might attack to try and put me to... This seems like a very invalid number of goblins to attack with. This is like the stone perfect, kill every single one of these goblins. It's just the actual worst number of goblins to attack with. You're one-off lethal here. We draw Zealous Persecution or Orzhov Pontiff. Nope. I'm gonna Fatal Push 1. I'm not gonna kill the other. Yeah, we should have lethal next turn, so. Sure, opt to your heart's content. Opt into, like, triple mana Morphos, Desperate Rate Grape Shot you. Yeah, that'd be lethal. That would suck. They would actually just need, like, to chain mana Morphos. Bottom the opt. Yeah, they're dead. Cool, we did it. Storm continues to be an excellent matchup for this deck. There's Storm on this list somewhere. Yeah. 6, 15, 10 and 5. Yeah, 5 and 1 in matches. Deal. Alright, not bad. 3-2. Especially with that, like, pretty miserable game against Miracles, and then our, like, the Bant value matchup that we're just, like, very, very hard-pressed to win. But we also had Storm, which were opponents very hard-pressed to win, and then we had, what? Another Blue-White and Blue Moon? Blue Moon is not generally that great a matchup either, but good league. Definitely some important additions. We boarded in, like, Gideon and Gontier and friends a lot this league. I do think that Eternal Scourge is just like kind of a lot worse right now. People have really been off Mardu Pyro recently. It's been not performing as well as some of the other control decks, especially blue-white, because you can't like cheese people out of wins with Blood Moon as much with Mardu Pyro when they're a 2-color deck versus like a 3-color deck. They have a lot of board wipes to try to like catch up against Lingering Souls rather than just a bunch of lightning bolts and such. So yeah, I think as much as I love Eternal Scourge, we're just gonna throw the Mardu Pyro matchup in the dumpster and try for the rest of those. Try for the rest of the matchups. Anyhow, it's not time to play Legacy. It's time to go to sleep because it's midnight because we played like 4 grindy matchups in a row. Naughty Grandpa, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So, time to close off the stream. Let's find someone to host, and I'll give my spiel. What, no Legacy? We play Legacy like the past 2 days. You haven't been misled. The title doesn't even say Legacy this time. Not tricking anyone. Wow, no one's streaming Legacy. Boring. Alright, who's streaming Modern? I'm streaming Modern right there. Who else is streaming Modern? Hollow One, Monterey Prison, Modern Marvel. None of these decks look exciting. Not inspired. I don't feel very inspired by any of these people. Wait. Thanks for streaming, even if it wasn't Legacy. I'm trying my best. Alright, yeah, we didn't play against this guy. This guy's streaming blue-eye control. I wanted to make sure we didn't lose to him. Make sure his MTGO name is the same. Oh yeah, we didn't play against this guy. His name is Collect something? I don't know. We played against these 2 blue-white players. Yeah, he's neither of them. Anyway, I guess we'll host this guy. Playing blue-white control, Brad Barigmos, Enraged on Twitch. Anyhow, oh god, cat, you have claws. Stop jumping on my leg, please. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out tonight. Hope you had a good time. If you didn't get the memo, I didn't see the stream title and stuff, I'm starting my Eldrazi Taxes sideboard guide, so if you want tips in that matchup, or not that matchup, that deck, you want to know what your role is, know what are the good cards against some of the top decks in Modern. I'm currently writing it. It's like, I have like the top 5 decks written out, so work in progress. You can just type !SB guide in chat, or there's a link on my Twitter, there's a link in the Discord, and I'm going to put a link in this YouTube video after the stream's done. And you can just like message me on some sort of social media to get the link for it too. Anyhow, if you want to support the channel, you can follow, subscribe, or donate. Follows let you know when I'm going live. They're totally free, help support the channel. Subscriptions get you a sweet Thalia emote and a Thraben-themed sub-badge in the chat. And last but not least, donations. Still working on getting our partnership, or our like card hoarder partnership. I think I'm gonna email them again though. We're at like close to 280 followers and like 10 subs. And like pretty regularly, a little bit under their 20 viewer threshold, but we're like pretty close. So I'm gonna poke them again and see what they think. Anyhow, you can also sub on YouTube or follow me on Twitter. YouTube, I just post the archives of all these streams, so if you ever want to go see more tags of content I'm not streaming, or you just want to see more stuff, you can go hit up there. Twitter, I just post when I'm going live, all that jazz. Anyhow, that's going to end it tonight. See you guys all on Friday for some more Death and Taxes action. See you guys later.